Alright, let's talk about something that's got the Percy Jackson fandom buzzing. Charlie Bushnell's recent comments about Luke's appearance in Season 3. And honestly, I think this is way more significant than just a wardrobe change. So, buckle up, because we're diving into what this could mean for the character and the show as a whole. First off, the hook. Imagine Luke, the once polished, almost dazzling demigod, now looking like he's been dragged through the underworld and back. That's the image Bushnell painted, and it's not just a superficial detail. Personally, I think this transformation is a massive character moment. It's not just about him looking rough, it's about what that represents. Luke's fall from grace isn't just physical, it's a symbol of his internal struggle, his desperation to regain Kronos' favor after failing him. And that, my friends, is where the story gets really interesting. What makes this really stand out to me is the contrast between Season 2 and Season 3. Remember Luke in Season 2? He was practically glowing, decked out in Ralph Lauren, oozing confidence. That was a guy who thought he was on top of the world, promised power and riches by Kronos. But now, he's a shadow of that persona. And I think that's a deliberate choice by the showrunners. It's not just about making him look disheveled, it's about showing the consequences of his actions. Luke's not just failing, he's failing hard, and the audience can see it in every unkempt strand of hair, every dark circle under his eyes. From my perspective, this also ties into a bigger theme in the Percy Jackson universe, the cost of ambition. Luke's always been driven by his desire for power, his need to prove himself. But what happens when that ambition backfires? What happens when the very thing you've been chasing turns on you? That's the question Season 3 seems to be asking. And honestly, I'm here for it. It adds layers to Luke's character that we haven't seen before. He's not just the villain. He's a flawed, desperate individual trying to claw his way back to relevance. One thing that immediately stands out is how this aligns with the book, The Titan's Curse. In the book, Percy notes how rough Luke looks, almost feeling sorry for him despite their rivalry. That moment in the book always struck me as pivotal because it humanizes Luke. And I think the show is leaning into that. By making Luke's decline so visible, so tangible, the show is inviting us to see him not just as an antagonist, but as a complex figure. What many people don't realize is that Luke's story is as much about tragedy as it is about villainy. And this season seems poised to explore that in a way we haven't seen before. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. What does this mean for the dynamics between Luke, Percy, and Annabeth? We know Annabeth's involvement is going to be a hostage situation, which adds another layer of tension. Personally, I think this could be a turning point in their relationship. Luke's vulnerability might just crack open the door for some emotional moments, or it could make him more dangerous than ever. If you take a step back and think about it, this season could redefine how we view these characters and their interactions. This raises a deeper question, though: is Luke beyond redemption? The show's been hinting at his fall for a while, but this season seems to be pushing him further into the abyss. And yet, there's something compelling about a character who's so clearly struggling. It's not just about whether he'll succeed in his plans, it's about whether he can find any semblance of peace. A detail I find fascinating is how Bushnell mentioned Luke working overtime to get back on Kronos' good side. That desperation, that relentless drive, is what makes him such a tragic figure. What this really suggests is that Luke's story isn't just about power. It's about identity, about trying to find your place in a world that constantly rejects you. So, as we wait for Season 3 to drop on November 20th, I'm left wondering, what's the endgame for Luke? Will he continue down this self-destructive path, or will there be a moment of clarity? Personally, I'm hoping for the latter, but I won't hold my breath. Either way, one thing's for sure, this season is going to be a wild ride. And I, for one, can't wait to see how it all unfolds. What about you? Are you ready to see Luke in a whole new light? Or do you think this is just another step in his descent? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, keep those theories coming. Because if there's one thing Percy Jackson teaches us, it's that the journey is always more fascinating than the destination.